Quick disclaimer, this is not financial advice. Trading Forex is risky. Don't be an idiot. Use risk management. Enjoy the video. Hello traders, my name is Jamie and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I make videos about institutional Forex trading where I show you smart money concepts and how I integrate them into my own trading. I've recently made a couple of videos about order block scalping that have been really popular. If you haven't seen them already, there should be a pop-up link to them now in the top right corner. I've had a few people asking me for a strategy video as well, explaining how you can get involved in this type of training, and that will be coming soon, but I'm taking my time to try and make it as useful and easy to understand as possible. Anyway, going to keep this one short, hopefully, and today I'm going to be showing you another example of an order block scalp that I took on pound US dollar that was eventually stopped out for a 10R gain. Now, if you've watched my other order block scalping videos, you will know that I like to take off half my position at a 1:3 risk to reward ratio, which was just here for 10.5 pips, and then I like to leave the rest of my position on to trail behind structural highs in this case. I did only risk 0.5% of my account on this position. So I got a 1.5% gain from my first partials at 1:3, and then trailed my stop down to just around this high here, around a 1:10, which was then stopped out this morning in profit, giving me a total of a 4% gain on my account, which I was very, very pleased with. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to clean off this chart and show you the analysis that led to me taking this trade. So starting off on the 1 hour chart, you can see that since the end of February, around these highs here, we have been in a bearish trend, slowly but surely breaking structure and making lower highs and lower lows. However, in the long term, I am still bullish on this pair, looking to see high prices, but recently we have been seeing slightly more bearish momentum on pound dollar. Now, what I was noticing when I was looking at the chart was this area here, sort of price was ranging, not really making any sort of massive moves in terms of 1 out structure. But what I did notice was that these highs around here were beginning to mitigate this sort of hidden order block, some people would call it, that was located here around this range. Pretty much as well matched up with this order block here, but I sort of marked it up as this one as it was totally unmitigated and totally untouched. Now, why is this one a valid order block? Well, in the moves before, we can see that price wicked up and took liquidity above these highs here. And then we had this really strong bearish move to the downside that broke multiple minor structure levels and even structure down here eventually. So when we were returning up to this area, I was expecting reactions off. Not necessarily that we would touch this and then, drop right to the floor. We could come up to this, have a little reaction and then blast through. But what is certain to me is that there will be some kind of reaction off this level. Now, going down to the 15-minute time frame. Let me just pop this back a little bit. Has anyone else's trading view been really laggy and bad the past couple of weeks? It keeps on getting stuck for me. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just me. Maybe it's just me. But anyway, so the day before I took my trade on the 15th. We did have our first initial mitigation of this 1 hour order block, at which point we had a really massive drop down. I actually didn't get involved in this because I was away from my computer at the time, but once we'd sort of broke the structure under here, you could have been looking for an entry in and around sort of this area here for a scalp to take it slightly to the downside. Anyway, coming up to the day that I took my trade, let me just pop back on the 15-minute chart. And what are we seeing? So price comes up again and goes slightly above this high here and mitigates into that 1 hour order block again. Then we get a very bearish move to the downside that breaks beneath this sort of structural low that was also the low of the Asian session here, tapping into, funnily enough, this order block here and getting a reaction to the upside. When you know that you're going to be scalping these order blocks on sort of lower time frames, you'll notice that you get reactions off of lots of different order blocks, and it's all just the market playing between these different order blocks. But anyway, that's beside the point at the moment. That'll be for the strategy video. But yeah, so I was considering this sort of whole final move up here, which is obviously quite a big selection of around 21 pips. But anyway, so this is our final order block up. Why is it a valid order block? Because we take out the liquidity above these highs here and slightly just above this high here, and then we get a strong increase in bearish pressure that breaks structure to the downside. So effectively, I was waiting for price to come back up into this area and then go down, at which point I would be looking to get in on a scalp. So what I did is went down to the 5-minute time frame where I could refine my order block. I'm just going to get rid of that 1 hour order block there just to make things a little bit clearer for you. So in doing that, I refined my order block to this final up candle move here, this final grab of liquidity up before we shot back down again. So at this point, I was just waiting for price to return into this area. Now I did go onto the 1-minute chart to look to try and refine it a little bit more, but the price action was just a little bit too unclear in this area, and realistically I'd only be refining it to there, which just didn't really seem worth it in my eyes. So what I had done to set my entry, as I didn't have sort of like a clear like imbalance or smaller order block on the smaller time frame to enter off, I simply got my fib tool, ran it from the high to the low of the candle, set an entry at 50% with a stop at the high of the candle, understanding that if price breaks above here, then we probably won't be getting a massive reaction downwards. Now I understand that some people would consider these entries risky, but that is why I'm only risking 0.5% of my account on these positions. So from there on, it was literally just waiting for price to return into this area. There we go, and we get wicked in. As you can see, we did have a little bit of drawdown, but we were still around, yeah, nearly 2 pips away from being stopped out, so decent entry. Once we wicked into the entry, price dropped off pretty strongly, and we hit our 1 to 3 for the first partials in only a few minutes, which was great. So yes, it's a successful trade in my eyes. After that, it was literally just waiting and trailing the stop. I sort of stepped away from my computer this time, realized that price was sort of ranging around, so it didn't really do much. Had my stop at break even. Move this up a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, before I went to bed, I think I trailed my stop to just above this high here, which was 1 to 3, so I was securing myself an extra 1.5 R should it pop back up. Then overnight through the Asian session, we had a big drop off, at which point when I got onto my charts at around 7:30, I trailed my stop to just above these highs here at around 10.5 R, and then we start to move up during London session this morning. So yeah, I'm not sure how long this video has been, but hopefully it's shorter than some of my other ones. Just a really quick trade recap of an order block scalp. If you have any questions, anything you would like me to elaborate on, any video suggestions, please leave them in the comments down below. Like I said, a strategy video that you can follow and backtest for what I'm doing here for this type of strategy will be coming out soon. I'm still working on it. But if you're excited for that, or if you have any other suggestions, please let me know in the comments below. And if you have enjoyed this or found it useful, please leave me a like and potentially a subscribe. It would mean the world to me. I only started this channel a little while ago and we're already nearly at 50 subscribers, which is absolutely insane to me. So yeah, thank you for all the support, and hopefully I'll see you in another video very soon.